the deep man for Arizona. And Monday Night Football is underway. Williams caught it on the run about 3 yards deep, and he stopped short of the 20-yard line. He's 31st in the NFL in completion percentage through the first 2 games. Given time there, and he's on target for a first down out shy of the 40-yard line. Chris Johnson is the running back, and he's dropped behind the line of scrimmage. Catches. Palmer straight back and on target over the middle. Troy Nicholas, another tight end, about a yard short of the first down. Damian Wilson training camp, and then brought him back when David Johnson was injured in week 1. Chris Johnson has the first down. He's across midfield to the Dallas 49. There was a flag down on the last play, an offside penalty.
It's a 5-yard penalty. Results in the first down.
What an exciting back Chris Johnson today is the 4th oldest running back on any active roster, but Darren Sproles went on IR today for Philly, so now he's the 3rd. Larry Fitzgerald, his first catch. Receivers spread the formation on 2nd and 7. 4-man rush for Dallas, and plenty of time. Andre Ellington gets knocked around, but hangs onto the ball and has a first down for Arizona. 53 yards. They've been a slow starting offense in their first 2 games. Dallas crowds the line. Chris Johnson sliced ahead for a couple. Through 2 weeks this year, they lead the league in the empty set, and excellent penetration. Benson Mayowa. Hand. 3rd down and 11. They are in field goal range. Palmer under duress throws to the end zone. Touchdown, Jaron Brown and the Arizona Cardinals.
Pass rush is there. The Cowboys put Palmer under intense fire. He stands in there courageously and throws a bullet.
Bill Dawson, their new place kicker this year. They hope he'll bring some stability to that role at age 42, and it's 7-0. That was in a performance many thought he didn't play particularly well, including his coach Bruce Arians, who later dialed that back after he watched the film. Ryan Switzer, the rookie. Ezekiel Elliott, reminiscent of a week ago when he had by far the worst game of his career. He had 9 and the leading rusher for either team in each of his previous 15 games, and had rushed for at least 80 yards in each of them. Just 8 last week, and that's a yard or 2 before he's chased across the boundary in his 5-year career. Here comes an Arizona blitz. Jason Witten the catch, but he's escorted to the sideline by Tyvon Branch, the best in the league. Kerwin Williams back for the punt. Takes a great bounce for Dallas. Williams runs out of bounds at the 20. To Jaron Brown. Arizona leading 7-0 as they go on offense for the 2nd time. Larry Fitzgerald got blasted by the safety Jeff Heath. It's a gain of 4. Down in the 4th quarter, rallied to force overtime and won on a field goal in Indianapolis. Larry Fitzgerald, long run after the catch, and finally dragged down at the 40-yard line by Malik Collins, a 16-yard pickup. Back to the run with Chris Johnson. A 3-yard gain, pointed to. Palmer had to pull it down, got it off over the middle. Larry Fitzgerald lunging for the 50-yard line, which would be the first down. They can be a playoff team without him. Carson Palmer keeps it. And it's 6'5", 235 pounds. Inside handoff. Andre Ellington made his way outside. Got to the 44-yard line, a gain of 4. Yards of offense for Arizona. Palmer a perfect 8 for 8. Johnson tried to cut back inside, and Sean Lee would not let him in. Yes, with Kevin Harlan. Led their team to Super Bowl 43. Larry Fitzgerald the catch. He gets swung forward on the tackle by Byron Jones. Very close to the first down. Shape, watches Diet, changed his workout. Deep handoff. There is a stop, but a flag down on the play. Orlando Scandrick up at the line of scrimmage. This was offside.
Offside. Defense, number 93. That's a 5-yard penalty. Results in a first down.
Approach 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter. Johnson trying to get outside to the left, and he will not. Well played by the rookie out of Michigan, Jordan Lewis. Playing tonight. Chidobe Awuzie is also out tonight. Another corner for Dallas with a hamstring injury. So Lewis has to play. It's 3rd down and 9. Palmer 10 for 10. Under pressure. He's 11 for 11, and it's a first down. Andre Ellington to the 15-yard line of Dallas, wrapped up by Sean Lee. And 13 here against the Rams. And he throws it away. He was hurting last week if he didn't play with that rib injury, because he's one of their toughest guys. They faked it to one receiver and threw it instead to Larry Fitzgerald after the fake to Jerron Brown. Empty again on 3rd down and 5. Palmer scrambling on the run, on target, touchdown. Jerron Brown again. If it stands, there's a flag down in the offensive backfield, and this one is going to come back.
Going to be holding against Arizona.
Holding. Offense, number 68. That's a 10-yard penalty. Replay. 3rd down.
So now they're back on the 20. The Cardinals, 3rd down and 15. Lawrence again got around Beldier. And down goes Carson Palmer. Demontre Moore making his Cowboy debut. This is a 36-yard try. Andy Lee, the holder. And the kick is no good. There's the 4th play from scrimmage for Dallas. And Ezekiel Elliott stopped in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Dallas with exactly 0 yards of offense right now. Prescott steps into the throw, nowhere near his intended receiver, Terrence Williams. Patrick Peterson, one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. A screen for Elliott. And he's tripped up. Tyrann Mathieu, a terrific tackle.
He's had a lot of injuries in the last couple years. He's key to this defense.
Chris Jones, that is not a good kick. Straight up in the air and out of bounds, almost out of bounds. Bounced near the sideline and came back. Movement at NFL.com/play60. And that pass batted down. Carson Palmer trying to get it to J.J. Nelson. Broken up by Xavier Rhodes.
Way tonight.
One of the reasons they let those veterans in the secondary leave by a free agency, they thought there was a lot of talent at the defensive back positions in the draft. Palmer steps into it, has Larry Fitzgerald, who has the first down before Xavier Woods. Third in NFL history, and the player who's behind him is in this game tonight, Jason Witten of the Cowboys, 4th all-time. Chris Johnson, Jared Beltier tried to get out of the way. Palmer, here and in Oakland. Palmer, far side, and a good tackle. Jermaine Gresham cut down again by the rookie 5th-round choice out of Louisiana Tech. 4 receivers with Andre Ellington on the left hip of Carson Palmer, given plenty of time by that line, and tries to force it into Jermaine Gresham, who again was looking for a flag. Andy Lee, another newcomer for Arizona. Good punt, good coverage. Receives. May God bless and protect them. We thank them for their service. Dak Prescott on target. Terrence Williams
To have.
2nd and 2. And they get Ezekiel Elliott started. He squirts ahead. It'll depend on the spot, as it always does. And it looks like the line judge is going to mark him a little bit short.
The defense.
Rod Smith in at fullback. Now Ezekiel Elliott blasts through the hole. Finally loose. And he's wrestled down. 4 carries for -2 yards tonight. Flag down. Craig Rolstad, the referee.
False start. Offense. Number 84.
That's
5-yard
4.
penalty. Still first down.
Toss to Elliott, waiting for the blockers, and taken down out of bounds along the near sideline. Movement again. Looked like the Cardinals might have been offside. There is a flag, and the pass incomplete.
Football. Jumped offside.
Defense, number 90. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay.
Jumped
Second down.
offsides last week.
Three receivers, including Witten to the right. They hand it off, but there's another flag. It's going to be the running back, Switzer, ordinarily a wide receiver, carrying the ball.
There are 2 fouls on the play, 1 on each team. False start, offense. Dallas, the left guard. After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense, 92. Blow to the face. By rule, only the 15-yard penalties enforced. 15 yards, first down.
For much of this first half, still down only 7-0, and on the move now. Ezekiel Elliott tackled from behind by Chandler Jones. Second and 9. Elliott, they fake it to him. It's the quick hitter to Des Bryant, and he will not get away. Tyvon Branch. This is 3rd and 12 on the edge of Dan Bailey's field goal range. Not anymore. It's a sack for Chandler Jones.
This Cowboy offensive line has been dominant in recent years, but in the last 6 quarters.
Loss of 9. He's had at least 1 sack now in 5 straight games dating back to last year, and in 12 of his 19 games as a Cardinal. Kerwin Williams, the fair catch. Ray Rice and Chris Carter went head-to-head back in 2002. Chris Johnson got walloped by Sean Lee. He's off to another great start. Loss on the play. 7 catches already tonight. 2nd down and 11. He has 8 catches. This one's a short one.
Tonight.
On 3rd and 8. Palmer, look out! He swung down, a sack back inside the 5-yard line. Malik Collins, the 2nd-year man out of Nebraska. Build for that position. Here's Andy Lee. Good punt under some pressure. Ryan Switzer, one of the best punt returners in the history of college football, on display in the NFL. Brought it all the way back inside the Arizona 35-yard line. Year in 2013, that's the NCAA record. I think Marcus Golden was a little bit offside.
Offside. Defense, number 44. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Dallas has 34 yards of offense. Well, they're inside the 30. A touchdown would tie it up. Elliott has had absolutely nothing except for the 30-yard run. Was, of course, moved from St. Louis. Back then, they were the Phoenix Cardinals, rebranded Arizona Cardinals in 1994. Dak Prescott fires incomplete. Looking for the tying touchdown. There is a flag down. He threw in the direction of Cole Beasley.
Prior to the pass, holding. Defense, number 21. That's a 5-yard penalty and an automatic first down.
A Pro Bowler, Denver, Akeem Talib, and Chris Harris Jr. And tonight, the great Patrick Peterson. Prescott on the money. Beautiful throw on the move. Prescott keeps it. Prescott lunges for the end zone. Touchdown, Dallas.
There's his zone read. He broke down Meredith's record last year with 6 rushing touchdowns. Making plays, running and passing when he has to sell out. Work by Prescott.
Dan Bailey, the extra point. For the touchdown was called back. They missed a field goal. And that was a momentum changer for sure. Well, how will Bruce Arians play with only 1 timeout left, starting from his own 25-yard line? There's DeMarcus Lawrence, who is dominating again tonight. There is a flag down. It's in the secondary at the 41-yard line.
Illegal contact. Defense, number 50. It's a 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Technique of being a right tackle. They flipped their tackles this year. DJ Humphries from right to left. Palmer down again. And it's DeMarcus Lawrence right there again with Malik Collins.
You see Tyrone Crawford, 98, and here's a draw play.
Andre Ellington on 2nd and 16. Gets them back to the 30. They'll need 10 on 3rd down. They're content to let the half end. Such an impressive start for Arizona, and now the half ends with a smattering of boos. Field goal in the 2nd quarter, a big momentum changer in this game. Ryan Switzer back deep, and he won't try to bring it out from about 8 yards. Dak Prescott, 5 out of 6 for just 25 yards passing. in the first half. Swings it out wide for Elliott, and Patrick Peterson rallies to the ball 6 times. A Pro Bowler. 2 tight ends in the game. And a play-action pass for Prescott. Down the middle and caught out near midfield by Terrence Williams with Tyvon Branch, the safety. Back to the run with Elliott. Drags Branch with him for a yard or 2. Marcus Golden helped Tyvon Branch get Elliott. Kept his home here, so when he returned for the 3rd stint this year. Across the formation, man-to-man on Des Bryant. Prescott running out of time, gets it off, incomplete. In the general direction. Williams fair catch near the 7-yard line.
Let's see what adjustments Arizona has made at the break.
142 yards their first couple of drives. Very little since.
Yeah.
Here comes Lawrence. They just cannot handle him up front. Another sack back at the 6-yard line. Battled some injuries, a back problem last year and a suspension.
Look out.
Out of the end zone, and it's dropped.
To the sideline.
22-yard punt return the last time for Switzer. Saw Scandard back. He left for an IB in the first half. Switzer caught it on the run. There is a flag down.
Offside defense, number 51. It's a 5-yard penalty. Replay. 4th down.
The 35-year-old punter in his 14th year. A low snap. And here's Switzer. Very returnable from the 50. And good coverage.
Family you have.
Here's Ezekiel Elliott. He's across the 40. Tyvon Branch in on the tackle.
Our meetings can't go anywhere without HBO.
They said after they profiled you, they ran out of good topics. It was on the McDonough's. Elliott turns the corner. He moves at Ohio State. Urban Meyer used to rave about the effort that he put into blocking.
Look out.
As a featured back. Now he's putting a lot of effort into running. And Tyrann Mathieu saved a touchdown. Games Elliott's long run was 10 yards. 4-man rush after Prescott. Over the middle. Caught. Des Bryant out of the witness protection program and trying for the end zone.
How about them Cowboys?
Touchdown, Dallas. They'll review it to make sure the ball broke the plane of the end zone.
Give him 6. Let's get on with the game. Old Travis
Previous
Frederick.
play is under review.
Rewarded.
After review, the ruling on the field stands as called. It is a touchdown.
And awful quiet. We said it in the pregame. You know, he's going to have to make a play to lift this offense. He's done it for so many years.
Almost all the hard work himself. Dan Bailey adds the extra point. The coach, John, requires that I say that with any reference to the Redskins. That's at 8:15 Eastern Time. Monday Night Countdown at 6. Here's Kerwin Williams. Down at the 22-yard line as he brought back the Dan Bailey kickoff. Anthony Brown. Look at Arizona. Find it again. Chris Johnson should have been stopped for a loss. He spun away. 2nd and 5. The crowd, which was really into it at the start when Arizona was rolling, is out of it right now. Good catch by Johnson. He got popped just shy of the 3rd and short, and they go empty with less than a yard to make, and they complete the pass to Jermaine Gresham. They got hit hard by Jeff Heath, who was slow to get up and not getting up. Goes in motion, and Kerwin Williams steps into the backfield. Wildcat play, and he takes it straight ahead.
The field. This man can fly.
With 5 catches for 120 in Indy. That throw too high. In the general direction of Chris Johnson. At the wide receiver position, Arizona, John Brown out with a quad injury again. Lofted ball, and it is broken up and nearly intercepted. Poked away by Jordan Lewis. It was intended for Jaron Brown.
Jordan Lewis.
Andy Lee on the punt again. Boy, they've come close a few times. Good kick. Fair catch made by Ryan Switzer back at the 11-yard line. Money for cancer research and awareness. Mom died of breast cancer. Oh, incredibly classy gentlemen. Cowboys leading 14-7 from their own 11. Prescott got swung around but got the throw off. Carlos Dansby in there to spin him around. 5 minutes to go, third quarter. They rushed 5. Prescott in trouble. Prescott in trouble in the end zone. Throws it away at the feet of Jason Witten. It was Buda Baker, the rookie defensive back out of Washington, who was forcing Prescott back into the end zone. Defensive player, really their best player on the team back there for the punt, looking for a spark from special teams. High kick by Chris Jones, and it goes out of bounds. A.J. Nelson's not the catch tonight. He was hobbled during the week. Did not practice on Saturday. Carson Palmer throwing deep, and it is caught by Larry Fitzgerald inside the 20 with Orlando Scandrick in coverage. Jerron Brown, the motion man, and he catches the swing pass, tries a little shake and bake, but could not escape from Jordan Lewis. Andre Ellington, the back. Palmer steps on, going for Fitzgerald, touchdown Arizona.
Fitzgerald, great release. He straightened him up, broke back to the corner, and that ball was dropped in there perfect.
15-yard touchdown pass, movement before the snap on the extra point.
Zone infraction, defense number 51. Arizona has decided to put that penalty on the kickoff. We will retry from the 15.
Everybody in this stadium holding their breath, and it is an ugly low-line drive that got through. Still has a passion to play as well, so that's why he's going to continue to play. But by taking the penalty, they decide to pooch it and trust their kickoff coverage with Ryan Switzer. Gained him a couple of yards. He didn't get it to the 25. They fake the inside handoff to Ezekiel Elliott. Prescott gets away. Now throws on the run, and it's caught beyond the 40 by Terrence Williams. 135th player taken in the draft in 2016. Elliott bottled up. Nice play by Hassan Reddick, the first-round choice out of Temple. And he was invited back. Didn't have a scholarship until his senior year. One of the great players in Temple history. Elliott couldn't catch the high throw, a little bit behind him. Fully engaged after the tying touchdown for Arizona. Cowboys 1 out of 6 on third down. It'll be 1 out of 7. Ezekiel Elliott stopped about 3 yards short of the marker. 4 career punt returns for touchdowns for Peterson. And they're not going to give him a chance. Very high. Boy, and Peterson couldn't fair catch it. And as a result, instead of starting near the 10, they're going to start around the 3. Kayvon Frazier there to down it. Capitalizing on the opportunity to be a head coach. It's only 3 games, but they look like a very well-coached team, led by the 31-year-old head man of the Rams, Chris Johnson.
A parity in pro football.
2nd and 7. Palmer out of the end zone. Ellington did not get to the first down marker. So it'll be 3rd down and short. From their own 13-yard line. Design rollout for Palmer. He got away from Lawrence, but then had to gun it away. And we have sung it a lot, deservedly so. Andy Lee punts. High but short. Ryan Switzer from his own 48. Made the first man miss, and then got taken down by Aaron Brewer. And a quick toss. Ryan Switzer again lined up in the backfield trying to use his speed. He got 3. On 2nd and 7. Ezekiel Elliott, a little hesitation. And look at that power as he turns his way down to the 42-yard line of Arizona. Jason Witten has just 1 catch tonight. Prescott throws short. Cole Beasley has the first down, tackled by Tyvon Branch. They needed 3, they got 4. Catch of the night. Jason Garrett raved about Beasley's remarkable change of direction, uncommon. How quickly he can change directions, and you saw it on that catch. Play fake to Ezekiel Elliott. Marcus Golden in pursuit of Prescott. Deep throw to the end zone. Caught! Touchdown, Bryce Butler.
This Dak Prescott is exciting to watch. Prescott come out of this play action fake. He gets outside of contain, and on a dead run, he throws a bullet.
First touchdown reception of the year, 37 yards. Now Bailey, who's never missed an extra point, has another. The director of player personnel for the Cowboys said if they hadn't do that draft over in 2016 and they had the first pick of the draft, they would take Dak Prescott. After a moment's hesitation, drove down to tie the score in the third quarter. 11:52 to go. Bull rush by Lawrence. Palmer pressured from behind, almost threw an interception, throwing away. Completed his first 11. They fake it inside to Ellington. He throws, and it's caught. Flag down at the end of the play. Jermaine Gresham the catch. Byron Jones
Holding on Jones. He had Gresham the whole way.
Part of pass holding. Defense, number 31. That penalties decline. The result of the play is a first down.
Is what is preventing him from being a factor tonight. Lawrence takes Valdir to the inside. That time, the receiver, Ellington, didn't see the ball coming. There were two receivers in the same plays. Ellington weaved his way out to the 47-yard line. Flag down on the play.
Offense, number 84. The 10-yard penalty replay. Second down.
2nd and 18, under 11 minutes to go. They do rush three. They bring a fourth man late. Palmer up. Bomb! Caught by J.J. Nelson.
There he is.
Oh,
No,
did he finish the catch? It looked like the ball
The
came
ruling
out
on
too.
the field is an incomplete pass. It'll be third down.
Well, that was a very late ruling of an incomplete pass after the discussion, but they got it right. So it doesn't matter.
Challenging the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass.
Well, that's going to be a waste of a challenge. Craig Rolstad's mic is not working, but watch the replays. You don't need the explanation. That is a waste. Wins with the Cardinal franchise. Lawrence again got close, and it's lofted up. 50-50 battle. Larry Fitzgerald says he has it, and the officials concur as he ripped it away from Orlando Scandrick. With 107.
Well, your brother's in the personnel department. Talk to him. Give him some more money. This man's incredible. His competitive spirit gets stronger and stronger every
Dallas
season.
is challenging the ruling of a completed pass.
Is always the last one to leave the field.
After review, the ruling on the field stands as called. It is a catch. First down, Arizona.
So 1st and 10, Arizona at the Dallas 43. Down by 7. A good hole in the middle. And Andre Ellington, the fifth-year man out of Clemson, slid forward for about 5. Palmer has time, throwing deep, and too long for J.J. Nelson, who had a step on Jordan Lewis. 3 receivers to the right. Quick slant, and it's caught by the rookie Chad Williams out of Grambling, the 3rd-round pick. It was an 8-yard gain. Play fake to Ellington. Pass to Ellington. Jordan Lewis, another tackle for Dallas. 5. Cowboys leading 21-14. Ellington. Good surge by that offensive line. They pushed the Cowboy front back, and Ellington got very close. With 3rd down and 1. Palmer did sneak it earlier. I tell you what, Coach, you are all over it tonight, my friend.
Well, I used to study this game, Sean. I think I still do.
Plays in defenses in situations like this. 13th play of the drive. The play fake to Chris Johnson. Palmer on his back foot. And there's a leaping grab. Is it inbounds? No. Jerron Brown went high in the air. Couldn't land. 114 Dallas. Sean Lee showing blitz. He tried to rush. Palmer locks it up. And it's incomplete. Looking for Larry Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald, they did not complete it. 12 targets, 11 catches. Palmer, incomplete. Off the hands of Britton Golden. 6-yarder that would have put them ahead 10-0. Hit a low liner on the extra point not long ago. This one's good from 37 yards. Arizona kicks off. Phil Dawson. Ryan Switzer's not going to try it. Arizona on the last possession of the ball for 16 plays, took 5 minutes and 17 seconds off the clock. Play fake to Ezekiel Elliott. He's throwing a deep ball. One-on-one coverage and another big catch by Bryce Butler, and apparently he was not touched down. It's a touchdown.
Another review.
The previous play is under review.
Oh boy.
This is close. He takes his time to go over there and touch him.
He'll be down.
And if it looks like his knee might have been just down the hand on the
runner was
backside.
touched down by contact at the 22-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line.
The Cowboys did.
A couple of big catches by Bryce Butler. Here's the zone read again. And Prescott takes it down to the 15-yard line. Tyvon Branch within one score. Under 6 minutes to go. Elliott running room. First down inside the 8-yard line. Miss anything. First and goal from the 8. Elliott, a little hesitation and a touchdown.
That's a clinic on how to run the football.
And Bailey. It's 28-17 with 4:57 to go.
Right guard Collins 71 at right tackle, and Jason Witten at tight end. That's the outside zone, and it's the staple.
Today at ESPN, he thought the ruling would take a week or two after October 2nd. So add a week or two to October 2nd. At that point, we may know if he's going to finish the year, because if it goes back to the bigger court case. Palmer, a little too high for Larry Fitzgerald. Palmer in trouble. Still in trouble. He will not get away. Malik Collins and Justin Durant there for Dallas.
Free themselves, and the pass rush once again gets there.
Desperation time now for Arizona. Palmer, nobody home. The receiver had pulled up on the route. Jerron Brown was called back. It was a huge play. Joined us late. Arizona was at 7-0. They drove. Looked like they were going to go ahead by 2 touchdowns. A touchdown called back on a holding penalty. Then they missed a 36-yard field goal that would have made it 10-0. 4 straight 4A state titles here in Arizona. Elliott. Now they'll just try to run out the clock. Fullback last season. Trying to lead the way for Elliott. He stutter steps across the line of scrimmage, and then he's repelled. And they have done it successfully, barring a disaster for them now. Elliott, wow. Hit behind the line of scrimmage and will not escape. He tried hard to stay on his feet. It was managing the game well. Lets the play clock run all the way down to 2. And Jones makes it a long run for Peterson. He's going to try it, but he can't. Excellent coverage by Kayvon Frazier, their leading special teams tackler. And Palmer. Boy, they're offside by a mile.
Yes, Lawrence. I think that's the second time he's been off early.
Offside defense, number 90. 5-yard penalty. First down.
1st and 5. Palmer has a man wide open. Larry Fitzgerald bounces off the hit for about 4 extra yards. 46 yards. That was a 24-yard play. Palmer sacked and did well to hang on to the football as he was cocking his arm to throw for relief. Carson Palmer, deep throw. It's desperation time, and Jeff Heath almost picked it off. There's a flag down. It was intended for the rookie Chad Williams.
Pass interference. Defense, number 32. The ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Hands, or the onside kick team ready.
3-man rush. Palmer with time. Ellington out of bounds. Chased out by Sean Lee. Looks like they're going to spot it with a first down.
It's like holding in the Cowboys secondary away from the throw.
Holding. Defense, number 39. The penalties declined. The result of the play is a first down.
3 receivers to the right of Carson Palmer. 5-man rush, and they get there again. Back at the 31-yard line. 1:24 to go. 2nd and 17. Arizona to 31. They're down by 11 points. Big play. Britton Golden out of bounds at the 10. Just inside the 10, so it's 1st and goal. 3-man rush. Lawrence used the spin move. Didn't get there. It's a catch, but not in the end zone, it appears. But one official is signaling touchdown, but the official on the end line says no. And from here, it certainly did not look like Jerron Brown got both feet down in bounds.
On the field is an incomplete pass. However, prior to the pass, holding defense number 30. That penalty is half the distance to the goal. Automatic 1st down.
Against the Cowboys, 2 of them accepted. Empty again for Arizona. In retreat, Palmer, and his pass nowhere near Britton Golden. 22 last week in the overtime win against Indianapolis. They've run 29 more plays than Dallas now. He heaves one toward the end zone, incomplete. Jeff Heath of Dallas closest to it.
Tight end at the top.
Ellington, the running back, he stayed in the block. It's a catch, and that is not good by any standard for Arizona.
I'd have kicked the field goal a while ago.
Well, they're not going to. And they're not going to score. Jermaine Gresham, the intended receiver, and Byron Jones breaks it up. I mean, you have to come away with points. That is to kick it, recover the onside kick, and have to score a touchdown. I'm sure that's what Bruce was thinking. But it doesn't work out. And credit the Dallas Cowboys off a stink bomb last week in Denver. A really rough start here tonight. This field goal turned the momentum back for them, and they capitalized. Des Bryant just 2 catches tonight, matched up for a lot of the night against Patrick Peterson there, but his touchdown catch was memorable, particularly the effort, the run after the catch